Jamie on the beat, boy. Jamie on the beat, boy. Jamie on the beat, boy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gin College Podcast. I'm your host, as always, John J. II, here with Cody Almasi. Cody, how we doing today, man?
Doing great, man. We got football scheduled from every single day now until New Year's Eve. So it's Christmas has come early. It's time to kick back, watch some football, and enjoy the bowl season.
Yes, it is. It is that time of year. And bowl season just kicked off today, actually, in the Bahamas Bowl with Middle Tennessee taking on Toledo. Middle Tennessee actually won that one 31-24. So big win for Middle Tennessee. Both teams coming into this one with 6 losses. Oh, actually 7-6. Both teams finished up as. So this is the first little kickoff of bowl week, I guess you can call it. These are really early stage bowls, more lower tiered bowl games. So we got a couple on the docket here this weekend. There's one happening today, and there's going to be a slew of them happening tomorrow. But this kind of just kicks it off. So no major bowls really yet. We got to wait a couple weeks for that. But yeah, let's just talk about this Bahamas Bowl real quick. Middle Tennessee, what did they have to do to win this game?
Yeah, I'm just happy that we didn't decide to pick this game. You know, I thought the Rockets were definitely going to win. They were 10.5-point favorites. They gave Notre Dame a good matchup early on in the season. So I kind of thought about that and haven't watched any Middle Tennessee. I'll just be honest with you right now. And maybe I should have been, because they played a great game. They had one of my favorite things, a big man interception. Was Jalen Woods. So, yeah, great job. Great effort there. We love seeing big man INTs. I was once a big man getting INTs on the high school football field. So I love to see it. And Nick Vadiato had a great game and led them to a win. Middle Tennessee scored 17 points in the fourth quarter, and one of those was a big pass from Vadiato to Jaron Pierce. and that's a 59-yard bomb with a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter. So I just hope the rest of bowl season can be as exciting and as fun as the Bahamas Bowl was today. That was great.
Yeah, they definitely kicked it off well. I just watched that deep pass to Jaron Pierce, the 59-yarder. That was a nice play, beautiful play. And I think it's very important to not undermine these lower tiered bowl games. These teams, they have potential. They have a lot of good offenses. You got to be a good team, at least a decent team, to make it to a bowl game. So that can't be undermined. These are two teams facing off, really even matchup here. And it looked like all Rockets for a lot of the game, really well into the third quarter even. It looked like it was going to go in Toledo's favor, but then the Blue Raiders really came back and they succeeded offensively and really shut down the Toledo offense defensively. So great display, and it was just a great game. So hope you guys had the chance to watch this one. This was the game that kicked off bowl season, I guess you can call it. So really exciting stuff. Another game that is happening later tonight at 6, just a half an hour out. Is the Tail Greeter Cure Bowl between Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina. What do you got to say about this game, Cody?
The Chanticleers that's Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers have been exciting the last 2 years to watch. They've been led by Grayson McCall. He is, again, I think projected to be one of the Heisman favorites going into next season, and he was a Sun Belt Player of the Year, Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year this year. So I'm excited to see him throw the ball down the field, but don't overlook Northern Illinois. I think that they went to the MAC championship, but I believe that they lost and ended their season 9-4. So yeah, I just hope it's as good as this. It features a person you're familiar with, Rocky Lombardi. So maybe you got something to say about old Rocky back there.
Yeah, we used to call him Sunshine. So I hope you guys saw the movie Remember the Titans, but it's basically based on a quarterback. It's not based on him, but he's a major character, the quarterback. They call him Sunshine. They gave him the nickname pretty early on before the entire team was cool and kosher with each other. But he was a blonde quarterback, had long hair, nice flow, and Rocky Lombardi also shares that description visually. So he didn't really give me the fireworks I expected him to have at Michigan State. And I think that partially had to do with the fact that he, didn't really find his groove whether it was with the coaching, whether it was with the formation, the offense, whatever it was. But I think he's starting to find his groove here. And this is more of a Rocky Lombardi tiered school at Northern Illinois with the Huskies. So you got to consider that too. Sometimes it just takes, a player to land at a major school or even a lower tiered school. You look at the opposite effect of this with Kenneth Walker landing at Wake Forest and going to Michigan State. So, both real good teams there too as well. But to find your groove, sometimes you have to enter the transfer portal and find your niche where you fit more. And you can find more success both within the team and individually when you make that move. And a lot of times, more times than not, that move is a good move to make for the player. So I'll be expecting him to play well tonight. Looks like the Football Power Index presented by ESPN has Coastal Carolina winning this one by a landslide, has them at 80%, with Northern Illinois right there at 20%. So they're calling a landslide, but this is not going to be a landslide game. This is going to be a good battle, especially in any bowl game. You're just looking to win. If you have the players with you, if they haven't already entered the draft, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit, with some players that have decided to do that, enter the draft and opt out of playing in their bowl game, then that you're going to be playing for something. You're playing for pride. You're playing for, maybe not position, but you're playing for your own stature and your own accomplishments. So that has to be considered as well. Coastal Carolina and the Chanticleers had a great season this year going into this game, 10-2. What do you have to say about this Coastal Carolina team?
Yeah, like I said, they're just kind of building on what they started last year. Before last year, I'm just being honest with you, I had never heard of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, but they really broke out in the COVID season. They were projected to maybe go 11-1 or 12-0, so they just fell just shy of their goals this year, not winning the Sun Belt Conference. But they got next year, Grayson McCall coming back, so look to see what he does next year. I misspoke, though. I owe an apology to Rocky Lombardi and the Huskies. They are MAC champions. They beat Kent State 41-24. So my sincere apologies to Rocky and the Huskies.
Hey, I just gotta clear the air. With these more lower tiered games, these lower tiered teams, we can't be focusing on this as long with everything. So we're gonna do our best to do that. So I think we owe ourselves, and I think we owe ourselves a bid of gratitude and just I don't know how I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Cody. We kind of get a pass. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. We get a pass with these lower tier teams. Nothing against
Yeah.
them. Nothing against them. Doesn't mean we don't talk about them. We're talking about them right here on prime time.
Yeah.
But we might not know the ins and outs of every single thing. We know the major talking points. We know the major deals. So I think you're good there, bro.
Yeah, I just
But
wanted to give Rocky the credit, your boy
Oh yeah.
there, former Sparty. He's a
Yeah,
MAC champion, so it's got to be said.
I'm sure he appreciates that. But good deal, good deal. So that's the Tail Greeter Cure Bowl coming at you live at 6 p.m. tonight on ESPN2. Make sure to tune into that one. I'm sure that'll catch my eye as well. Trying to watch some football here on a Friday night, the 17th of almost said October, December. We're flying by here, almost in 2022. Hope you guys have made your New Year's resolutions. I've talked about this on multiple podcasts. Talked about it on Monday. Talked about it yesterday, 2 days ago. These days are flying by, folks. On the GSN pod, and I talked about it yesterday on my gin and tonic too. So I did talk about it yesterday. Talking about it every single day leading up into Christmas time and into the New Year. So I'm gonna say it. You got to do it. You got to make your resolutions, stick to it, and make sure it's something that is doable. Don't make it too far fetched. A lot of people don't make it more than 2 weeks into their resolution before they break it. So some food for thought here on a Friday going into the weekend, and you're gonna feel great.
Some very nice wisdom heading into the holidays here.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do for the people. I try to provide more than just sports coverage, more than just some opinionated pieces from myself, but also some insight into their own lives as well, which I think is helpful for all of us. Let's talk about some other bowl games real quick, though, on the docket. Just quick little rapid fire session here for bowl games. We got Western Kentucky facing off against Appalachian State. That's going to be a great game. You got anything to say about that game? Appalachian State's coming in -2.5, over under 66.5.
Yeah, it's hard for me to bet against Bailey Zappi and the Hilltoppers. I know for a fact Bailey Zappi is going for Joe Burrow's record of 60 touchdowns. That's the most ever in a college football season. Joe Burrow had a few more games to do it, going to the national championship. But Bailey Zappi is going to try to hit 4, at least tie him tomorrow. So I wouldn't put it past the Hilltoppers to upset the Appalachian State Pioneers or Mountaineers. My bad.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. That's going to be a good game too, coming at you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN. That's going to be a good bowl game to start your Saturday with. Moving on, though, we got Utep against Fresno State. Fresno State found themselves a lot of success early in the season. We were looking for them to do very well going throughout this season, and it just didn't really pan out like they expected to. Jake Haener in there at quarterback had a lot of high hopes going into this season, but kind of fell on their face a little bit. So they're facing UTEP. What do you got to say about this?
Jake Haener's on his way to Washington. He has entered the transfer portal and will be playing for the Washington Huskies next season. But the thing that stuck out to me the most about this game is the name. It's the PUBG Mobile New Mexico game. So shout outs to PUBG there getting their name in a bowl game. I like that. Oh
boy. Now PUBG, let's just talk about PUBG real quick. So it's a really, and I had a lot of fun playing it. Okay, I had a lot of fun playing it. I still play it sometimes.
It had its day in the sun.
It did have its day in the sun. I think it's tough to compare that game to a Battlefield or to a Call of Duty, just because the dynamics, the mechanics, the movement mechanics within the game are so trash.
Yeah,
so trash.
Definitely
not realistic.
Good for some laughs. Yeah,
great for some laughs, good for some parodies. I watch a lot of Dr. Disrespect too as well. He's a pretty well-known streamer, and he used to play that game back in the day and just get so pissed off at that game. Like, this is what I thought about this game when I was playing it, but since everyone else was playing it, I thought we were just going to live with it. He doesn't put up with it though, and he hasn't played the game for years, so I'm sure he's fine with that. But that's funny nonetheless that they have a bowl game named after themselves. So that's got to be noted as well. So this will be a good one, happening 2:15 tomorrow. Moving along the docket here, we have UAB against BYU. That's going to be a good one as well. BYU, Brigham Young. in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. What do you
That's
got
a
to say about this
mouthful.
one?
Yeah, it's one of our two bowl games that feature top 25 ranked teams in number 13 BYU. I think they should take care of Alabama Birmingham. Just my opinion. They recently signed their head coach Sataki to an extension, and yeah, look for the BYU Cougars to take care of business tomorrow.
Yeah, that should be an easy dub for them. The BYU Cougars, they've been playing a great season, won some really key games, and one that really comes to mind as of late is their game against USC, where they won 35-31. That was a nail biter game that could have went either way. USC was playing a hell of a game. They wanted to pull that upset there, but they just fell short.
And that's a
and
big
BYU caught it.
rivalry, so
Yep.
we always say we never know what's going to happen in those rivalry games.
Well, yeah, exactly. You can't quantify anything on paper and bring that into your analysis of the outcome for any rivalry game. You just can't do it because there's so much more at play than just what's on paper. So that's just how it is.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Let's move on. Let's talk about the rest of the bowl games happening tomorrow. Just quick and clean, get everything out there for you guys so you guys know what's coming up. And let's see if I can pull my bowl games up so I can see. That's a great question.
The next
How
game
about you
on
take
the
it off?
docket is 5:45 p.m. We have the Lending Tree Bowl between Eastern Michigan and Liberty, both coming in at 7-5. Eastern Michigan, one of the 5 Michigan teams in bowl games. So pretty proud of our state and our colleges, our universities here, all at least being bowl eligible and having promising seasons. I know the Liberty, there are no roll over team. So Malik Willis is a quarterback there. He's got a lot of looks all year long. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how the Eastern Michigan team does. Let's see the Eagles. Let's see how the Eagles do. That just kind of brings back to the point we don't really talk about these sub-tier teams, even within our own state. Sometimes just don't talk about them a whole lot. But yeah, Eastern Michigan always pull for them. They're in our state, so we want to see them do well against Liberty. So that would be a great game to watch as well. Moving on along the line, this is the game that I'm excited about. This is a game I'm excited about tomorrow. Utah State against Oregon State. In the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. We made a little joke about that before the podcast. So what do you got to say about this one, Cody?
Yeah, I had to kind of check my screen here and make sure that's what the bowl was called, Jimmy Kimmel. I didn't know he had a bowl, so I guess congratulations to you, Jimmy. You got a late night TV show, lots of money, and now you have a bowl game. But I'd look for the Utah State Aggies and their wide receiver, Devin Tompkins. He's had a hell of a year. He's finished first or second and overall receiving. And I think second, I think Jordan Addison from Pitt actually took home first and also won wide receiver of the year. But yeah, Tompkins, 96 receptions on the year, 1,589 yards, 9 touchdowns. So look for him to make some big plays and really set himself up for a great season next year. And don't sleep on Oregon State. They gave some teams some rough matchups down the season. So who's favored in this game? Who we got?
Oregon State.
Actually,
State. Yeah, Oregon State is favored, coming in -7. So favored by a touchdown, over under 67.5. So they're expecting some points to be scored in this one. So that's gonna be a good one to look
Utah
at.
State, they're Mountain West champions. They beat San Diego State University, number 19, 46-13 on December 4th in that championship game. So yeah, I don't know really why they're getting slept on here.
Yeah, they are getting slept on. They are sitting at 10-3, considerably better record than Oregon State. So it might be just that Mountain West Pac-12 difference in schedule, difference in conference strength that we might be seeing brought into play here. Because you're looking at Utah State, I guess Oregon State isn't ranked either, but sitting at 10-3, they're not ranked, which is, I guess, somewhat surprisable. But since they're in the Mountain West, it's not too surprisable because there's other teams in there that have a similar record that are in a better conference, a stronger conference that gives them the right to be ranked,
Exactly.
top 25. So that has to be considered as well. Couple more here. Louisiana and the Ragin' Cajuns taking on Marshall in the Thundering Herd. What do we got to say about this one?
Our other ranked team and the Raging Cajuns, they're coming at 23, finishing 12-1. Looking to build on that, go 13-1. They are 4-point favorites in this game. Not too much else. Not teams I've really had too much privilege watching this year. I know Raging Cajuns, obviously 12-1. They've had a good year. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, after losing Billy Napier, they've seen success. They've still played fine. The transition must have worked out well for them. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of fire out of Marshall this year. I haven't really watched them a whole lot either, but this should be a pretty easy game for Louisiana, sitting there at 12-1, ranked 23rd in the
Sun
AP.
Belt champions.
Yeah. So yeah, Sun Belt champions. So you got to be considering those things. They have this game with the spread that's a little tighter than I expected. It's Raging Cajuns -4. So over under 55.5. So this is something. So when you see anomalies like this, that's where there's opportunities for the bettors. There's some opportunities this weekend, and we're going to be sharing them with you here. Not tonight, but we're going to be sharing with you tomorrow. So be focused on that and stay posted to the Bet with Gin IG. We're gonna be posting all the bets. We got a couple bet slips from last night that Seth had that actually paid out pretty well. Basically, that's just a little treat. It's a little taste of what we're going to be releasing as far as betting packages in the new year, and we'll talk about that briefly at the end of the pod today as well. But yeah, there's going to be opportunities here for the bettors with this spread. You can see opportunities. You can look at them. Still got to study everything, study the facts, see what could go wrong and all that, but this is looking like a Louisiana Raging Cajuns win, so just stronger offense, stronger defense, more discipline, even through coaching transitions. So all those things have to be considered.
Just a lot more to play for, I think
exactly a lot more to play for.
If they finish 13-1, it'll be their best finish ever, and they'll finish the highest they've ever been ranked. So
yeah,
a lot more.
Yeah,
I mean, Marshall, they got a movie. We Are Marshall, pretty good movie. Brings a tear to your eye,
Yeah, the plane crash scene. Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty emotional, but I don't think they're gonna We Are Marshall anybody tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think so too. But crazier things have happened. We got to be expecting everything that is possible to happen. So look forward to this one. Real quick, though, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the Peach Bowl update that we have for the people. And we'll get into some more bowl game stuff. I might go live tomorrow on the Gin College IG so we can talk some more bowl game stuff. But the Peach Bowl update, Cody, tell me what we learned as of, I think, yesterday about the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, we kind of got inklings and hints that this might be happening. And, when you asked me which bowl I was most excited for, obviously this is the first one I wanted to say, the Peach Bowl featuring Kenneth Walker and Kenny Pickett. But as I kind of seen in my crystal ball, both of these players this week have elected to forego the Peach Bowl and get ready for the 2022 NFL draft. And you can't really blame either one of these guys, especially Kenneth Walker. I know definitely probably getting some hate out there, but he played 2 seasons for Wake Forest and 1 for MSU. It was a great historic season, but that dude's about to get a bag in the NFL, and you can't hold it against these players when it's not for the college football playoff and you're not coming back next year to build on anything. You can't really put it past these guys for sitting out these bowl games, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of opinions out there regarding this type of mentality, not playing in the bowl game, saying, you know what, guys, the season's not over yet. I mean, technically the regular season is, but, I'm going to go move on to the next level. There is some loyalty questions there where it's like, oh, it's just one more game. It's your bowl game, last game with your boys. Don't you want to just play with them? That's the other side of it. And obviously your side is, they got to chase the bag. They got to do what they have to do to benefit themselves going to the next level. And I see positives from both sides. And I see the mentality that comes from both sides. So I think at the end of the day, my final determination on this decision, because the Peach Bowl is going to be Kennyless. Let's just be honest. It's going to be Kennyless. So looking at it like that and looking at the facts, these guys got to do whatever they think is the best thing to do. Obviously it's an integrity move to be like, you know what, I'm still going to declare for the draft, but I kind of want to play with my boys. So I'm going to play with my boys. I guess, let me ask you this, Cody, can they not opt into the draft if they do play the bowl game?
No, you can play the bowl game. That's just
Okay.
yeah, because I mean, it was a couple years back at 2015 or 16, I think 16, Michigan tight end Jake Butt, he declared for the draft, but he played in, I think it was the Sun Bowl or something. I can't remember what bowl it was, but he played in the game and he actually took insurance out on himself so that if something were to happen, and he actually got injured in the game, but he had an insurance policy that covered what he because he slipped in the draft, obviously with that injury in the bowl game, but his insurance policy paid him back what he would have missed out on making in the round. So there's options like that available for players.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know that, because that's obviously a bigger integrity move. You look at Jake Butt, you see him do that, and you're like, you know what? He could have went into the draft. He could have skipped that bowl and not played in it, but he did. He played in that bowl game with his boys, and he took the necessary precautions to take out that insurance policy for, the off chance that he would get injured. He wound up getting injured. You always got to prepare for the worst. He did that, and he's fine now. So there's different ways, there's different avenues about it. It just goes back to the coaching carousel, finishing out the year and deciding, like, if you're Brian Kelly, that's the one that comes to mind, or even the Lincoln Riley one too. The loyalty to the program that you gave your all to. You gave the mentality, you gave these different driving forces to your players, and you have them, basically following your way of doing things. And when you up and leave them, it's detrimental. You look like, oh man, you just turned your back on us. You're just taking that. You're just chasing the bag. No, that's kind of a dick move. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that mentality, similar to the Kenneth Walker, to the Kenny Pickett situation, declaring for the draft and be like, you know what, you guys got this, and I don't have to finish out the season with you guys. I got to go chase my bag. So there's some loyalty concerns there. But at the end of the day, they're going to do what they got to do anyway. They're going to do what they want to do, and they should be able to do whatever they want to do, and whatever they feel good about doing. There might be some regrets in there, some like, oh man, I kind of feel bad about it, but I don't regret it. I guess they won't really know until 5-10 years down the road, and be like,
exactly.
You know what? Maybe I should have played in that bowl game. What was one more game? What was one more game? So I don't know. That's just the things that go through my head. And I know there's mentalities coming from both sides and both positions, both corners of this issue, but just interesting to talk about.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I'm glad you brought up the coaching issue of it today. I bartend as a side job in a day. I was discussing it with some guests in my bar rail, and they were jumping on the players, trashing them. And I had to come to the defense a little bit and say the coaches are able to do the same thing. And some of them already have. Look at Notre Dame, look at Oklahoma. These are teams that are going to be in bowl games and not being coached by the guy that was there the whole time. But every situation is a little bit different. Maybe Kenneth Walker wants to give these guys underneath him the shot. Maybe he's hyping them up, wants them to take the rock. Like, every situation is different. You don't know how much everyone has invested. And Mel Tucker said that Kenneth Walker has been fighting that ankle issue all year long. So there's a lot that goes into it, but we could talk about it all day. Love talking about it. There's a lot that goes into it for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to these types of issues and these types of situations. So definitely, but it's good to talk about them and get them out there, especially get all the perspectives out there, because there's different perspectives coming from everywhere. So it's important to tag
like you
on
said,
the positives of all of them and the negatives.
A couple years down the road, what if he's having a great NFL career and he's like, man, I wish I would have played in that Peach Bowl and added another 200 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns to my already amazing season, and he could have climbed in the record books, but
Yeah.
you don't know how much that means to an individual. So
I guess the way I look at it is, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to play in another bowl game or a bowl game with your school. I would personally not want to look back on it 10 years from now and be like, you know what? I wish I would have played in that. Because even if you play in it and you get injured and you do the Jake Butt thing and take that route and you still wind up in the NFL, you're like, damn, I had a hell of a time with my boys in that Peach Bowl. You know what I mean? So especially for Kenny Pickett, I think Kenny Pickett even more, and it's really important for both these guys, but Kenny Pickett's the quarterback. You are the curator of that offense at Pitt. So, I mean,
and it could help your draft stock. I think he's already pretty high up there. I think the last time I seen was 12 to the Steelers, which is that'd be cool to see him. But maybe they're just seeing the Pittsburgh connection there. But yeah, maybe you climb up even more. Maybe you convince one of these desperate teams to take you even higher. So
Yeah. A lot of things to consider, and yeah, that would make sense too, especially with Ben Roethlisberger likely on his way out, which would make him a good fit. Kenny Pickett, a good fit
I
at
think so.
Pitt.
Najee Harris, Kenny Pickett combo sounds
Yeah,
pretty lethal.
it does.
But you said this game is Kennyless. Maybe they need to get Kenny Chesney in here at halftime
Yeah,
and
save the day.
give this bowl game some Kenneth.
Yeah, no kidding. I think it needs some Kenneth involved. So good deal. Good deal. Cool. So yeah, look forward to these games. We'll be talking about these a lot more on Monday. And there might be some adjustments going forward with the Gin College podcast schedule. So be on the lookout for that as well. But Cody, you got any final words before we sign off today?
Just want to give a shout out to Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. Just huge splash on the recruiting trail. He coaches an HBCU, which is a historically Black college and university. And to see them get the number 2 overall recruit in cornerback Travis Hunter, that's just huge. And I think it's a little bit of the Deion Sanders effect, but also NIL. And just happy to see an HBCU get a huge name like this. And it'd be awesome to see them start to make their way into the FBS instead of the FCS one day. But huge signing for the FCS. And I think it's the highest ranked recruit that they've ever got. So big move for Coach Prime.
Yeah, that's sweet for Coach Prime and Deion Sanders. That's awesome. So big props to those. It's good to see the HBCUs do well and really rise up to the forefront where they belong. And that's great. So looking forward to that transpiring into the future and seeing how that pans out. And I don't think there's going to be anything but success coming out of that. So let's look forward to that as well. But sweet, good deal. Make sure to follow all of our social media accounts, guys. The link tree is at the bottom of your screen now. Give that a look-see and check out what's on there. There's a lot of good information on there. The podcast, the website, all of our Instagram accounts, the Twitter accounts, and our Facebook account is on there. So make sure to give it a like, give it a share, and promote it so we can get the word out there to the people that need to hear what we got to say. We got a lot of good things to say, and people need to hear it, even if you agree with it or you don't. I mean, we'd love to hear from you guys. Get at us, talk to us during the stream live or even afterwards. We'd love to have a conversation with you guys about whatever views you have. So
yeah,
really
I loved when Julio was shooting me text that one day, just getting fired up, me going on and on about Hutch for Heisman. And he was demanding Kenneth Walker get some time,
right.
some justice. So that's the kind of thing we like to see.
Exactly. The back and forth is great. So keep in tune with that and keep in line with all the updates that will be coming your way now for the next couple weeks and going into the new year, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that breaks into the forefront once the new year hits. So I'll leave it at that, though, guys. Thanks again for tuning into this edition of the Gin College Podcast. I'm your host, as always, John J. II with Cody Almasi. Have a great night.